Hey guys, today we are going to be testing out this set of 120 markers from OHUHU. They just released a ton of new colors, as you can see here, and we are going to do a drawing with them and just a blending demo to see how they blend before we jump into our picture. Really cool side note, this comes with a color card which shows the number and corresponding color for each marker. This is a really nice reference for when you are coloring. It also comes with this plastic protector, so if you don't want marker to bleed through your paper onto another surface, if you have like thin paper, you can put this piece of plastic between it. It works really well. I've actually already tested this out, which is why you can see marker all over it, because I was impatient and I did use these already. So these are the markers up close. It comes with a bullet nib on one end, and then there's a chisel nib on the other end. So I'm going to swatch and blend a few colors. We're gonna start with this really pretty teal color. So that was the 57 and 68 blending together. And it looks really nice. Okay, next I'm going to try the same thing with yellows, just to see how the yellows go, especially because we're gonna be using these in the piece that I have planned for today's video. I'm actually gonna blend it into a warm gray. Okay, these markers blend very nicely. This went from like a dark yellow to like a warm gray that kind of looks a little peachy, and it blended across two different color families, so that's very nice. By the way, I used these 4 colors to blend that out. Next, I'm going to blend these pinks and see how they do. Wow, look at this! That is a nice blend. It goes from a very vibrant dark pink all the way to a very vibrant light pink. Beautiful. Okay, so now that we have tested out how a few markers blend individually, let's hop into a big drawing and color the whole thing. Alrighty, the first thing I'm doing is just sketching out my picture. But first, I want to tell you that today's video is sponsored by OHUHU. So thank you, OHUHU, for sending me these markers to try out. As always, with all sponsored videos, my opinions are completely my own, so I just want to tell you that this is coming from a review standpoint. With that being said, in this video I am going to talk about my thoughts on the markers, how they blend, and just the structure of the markers, but I'm also going to talk about my piece, and we will incorporate both of those things together in a fun, happy way. The first thing I want to say is I have used these markers in the past, but it was before they came out with tons of new colors. So the markers that I previously had and still have were the 40 set of these markers, and back when I used those a lot, I really liked the set. I thought they blended really well, so I was really excited to hear that they did come out with a 120 set. Let me repeat that, 120 markers in one set. I thought that was really convenient that they all come together. They're very affordable, and I was kind of just excited to find out what the tea was on all these new colors. So I decided to put them to the max test. You just saw me do tons of dots in the background on those bushes. That is called stippling, and I'm sure you already know what that's called. But I decided I'm gonna see how these bullet nibs hold up before I delve into really smooth shading. They held up wonderfully, and I was really happy with the effect of all the stipples on the bushes. So then I decided to smoothly blend everything in the foreground just to see how all these new colors blend. One thing that I found was that these markers are very juicy. I mean, they're super inky. So you can like let your stuff dry and come back to it and just finish blending it later. It still blends. Like, I was really impressed. These purple bars in the back of the conservatory, they're like the bars that hold the glass together. I did one whole layer and just like let that dry. And then later I came back and did darker layers. It blended. It blended very nicely. So I was pretty surprised by that actually, and very satisfied with that. One thing that I actually notice about a lot of alcohol markers is they're pretty streaky with large areas. So if you want to do a solid colored area, it takes a lot of layering to get rid of that streakiness. Well, with these markers, I think I only had to do 2 layers before the streakiness completely disappeared. And I was incredibly impressed by that. I mean, I feel like that is very hard to find in the marker world for me, so I just figured that was worth mentioning. And these markers are incredibly inky, so I think that they have a long life. I didn't have any issues with ink running out when I made this, and I have swatched in other pages and stuff too, and they all seem very hydrated. So, happy with that. One other thing I want to go over is their color choices. So this set is really nice because I find that there is a very even balance amongst the color range. For instance, about 1/3 of this set appears to be earthy colors. I am currently looking at the swatch card that they gave me, and there's a lot of browns, warm grays, and cold grays, and just regular grays, which is really nice. And they also have a lot of like neutral blues and greens. So if you're an earthy colored person, there's a lot of those colors. Alternatively, if you're a bright colored person and you like your colors to shine, maybe you want to do a greenhouse picture like me and you just want to use all the colors, let me tell you what, about 1/3 of this set is also like warm colors, and the other 1/3 is like cold colors. So I think the balance is really nice, and I was really happy with that. And I felt like every color had a couple buddies that blended really nicely with it. So yeah. I'll put links down below if you are interested in these markers because they are really affordable, and if you're looking to build a set very fast, 120 colors right here. You don't have to do a whole lot of work to search for colors if they're already in a set. So yeah, link down below. I'm going to talk about my piece now. I have been on a kick with drawing and painting greenhouses lately, so I decided to carry that on. And this time I put a person in here who is just looking down at this pot of very beautiful flowers and kind of just relaxed because, as I said, you can interpret whether the sun is rising or setting. I'm going to give you that choice, but it's like her favorite time of day. She feels at peace. She's in her favorite place with all these plants. So, you know, what could go wrong? She is just like in her happy place right now. And I wanted to capture that because it is winter where I live. Spring is coming, but I don't have a greenhouse. So if I want to be in a happy place like this, I have to draw it. And I'm okay with that. I love drawing plants. I love drawing scenes like this. It brings it to life and makes me feel like I'm there. So I think that's why I've been drawing a lot of these. This is like where I want to be. I had a lot of fun drawing her hair because, let me tell you what, I did this a little differently than normal, as you can probably tell. I illuminated all the edges of her hair with like lighter yellowy browns because the sun is literally right behind her. So that meant that I needed to kind of silhouette the middle of her hair that was most hidden from the sun. That was so fun to do. It's so fun to mess with different shading styles. So I really enjoyed doing that with this piece and just switching things up. I incorporated a lot of stippling into this piece, and I actually decided to do that on the rug too. So as I said, I had tested it in the background on those bushes, and these marker nibs are like super tough. They held up to the test. So later on, I was like, yeah, we're gonna do the rug too. We're gonna do the rug. And that was really fun. After I had most things colored, I decided to take some of those warm grays and create shadows. And then I took like a bluish gray to do colder shadows in the centers of those shadows. And it was really fun. I really enjoyed doing this piece, and I definitely would recommend these markers. I'm excited for when they come out with the brush nibs, because I'm a brush nib girl, but you know what? This set is phenomenal, and I really can't complain about it. This is probably one of the best marker sets that I've tried, and the fact that there's no brush nib and it holds up so well and blends so well is very impressive to me. So yeah. Anyway, this is my finished piece. I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Let me know if you've ever tried these markers down below or if you plan to get them. Alrighty, thanks so much for watching, guys. Bye!